Han Li, visibly furious, confronted Li Feiyu, who remained impassive, apparently ignoring the former's anger. Han Li, noticing Li Feiyu's unusual attitude, demanded an explanation for his reckless action. Instead of explaining himself, Li Feiyu began to falsely lament, accusing Han Li of unfairness. Aware of the insincerity in Li Feiyu's behavior, Han Li decided to confront him and demand explanations. However, he also realized he couldn't let his anger jeopardize his future actions, as the situation called for discretion. Li Feiyu, seemingly understanding the imminent danger, changed his approach and offered Han Li a rare book. After some hesitation, Han Li examined the book, surprised to find the much-desired blinking sword art. Li Feiyu then revealed a stack of similar manuals, all with the same title. Perplexed, Han Li questioned the authenticity of the manuals, while Li Feiyu tried to convince him of the truthfulness of his discovery. After some time, Han Li realized the gravity of the situation and questioned Li Feiyu about the quantity of manuals he had brought. Upon discovering they were 74, Han Li understood the importance of returning exactly the same amount of books to avoid drawing unwanted attention. While examining the manuals, Han Li realized the need to act with caution and discretion, as the possession of these rare manuals could attract many problems. Han Li moved among the pages of the books with a swiftness that could rival the wind itself. His narrow, focused eyes devoured the words as if they were the essence of knowledge. Meanwhile, his study companion, Li Feiyu, played by the edge of the pool, as energetic as a child in an amusement park. Ignoring Li Feiyu's antics, Han Li delved into the depths of his study, immersing himself in a sea of knowledge contained within the pages of the books. One after another, he flipped through the volumes, absorbing their content with insatiable voracity. Time seemed to flow in an invisible current, carrying Han Li through the pages and the hours. When he finally emerged from the sea of words, the sun had already set, plunging the world into shadows. Noticing the advancing hours, Han Li snapped out of his study trance, only to find Li Feiyu huddled in a corner, fast asleep with his head resting in his hands. Seeing his friend asleep, Han Li could hardly believe how much time had passed. With a sigh, he got up and stretched his limbs, stiff from the long period of immobility. Li Feiyu woke up groggily, his first words a mixture of confusion and irritation at the time that had passed. Trying to summarize what he had learned, Han Li explained about the flashing sword technique, a fencing skill that deceived the senses and could lead to an opponent's defeat in the blink of an eye. However, he also shared the restrictive conditions for mastering such a skill, which discouraged Li Feiyu from any interest in learning it. With Li Feiyu's departure, Han Li found himself alone once again, immersed in the darkness of the night. With senses sharpened by training, he ventured along the mountain road toward Shinsho Valley, aware of the hidden dangers in the darkness of the night. The night stretched out before him like a veil of mystery, but Han Li pressed on with determination, his destiny awaiting him beyond the dark horizon. Han Li understood Li Feiyu's discouragement in the face of the restrictions of the blinking sword art. It was natural for someone who had already achieved a certain level of mastery in martial arts to hesitate to abandon the path they had trodden to venture into a completely new technique with such specific limitations. However, for Han Li, who was still seeking improvement and new skills to face the challenges that awaited him, the blinking sword art represented an intriguing opportunity. Despite Li Feiyu losing interest in the rare books, Han Li remained curious and determined to investigate further. He knew that the information contained in these manuals could be valuable, especially if they were related to the mysterious plants he had intercepted in the mountains. Determined to uncover more about the blinking sword art and any other secrets the manuals held, Han Li spent days meticulously studying them. He dedicated himself to understanding not only the combat techniques described but also the history behind them and the principles underlying their practice. Each page was a window to a new world of knowledge, and Han Li was determined to explore each one to the fullest. Meanwhile, the plans of the ferocious wolf gang continued to unfold in the shadows. Han Li remained vigilant, aware that any carelessness could put him in danger. He knew that facing such a dangerous organization would require more than martial skills, he would need cunning, strategy, and a sharp mind to survive. As the weeks passed, Hanli found himself entangled in a web of intrigues and conspiracies that extended beyond the ferocious wolf gang. He discovered unexpected alliances, surprising betrayals, and long-buried secrets that threatened to come to light at any moment. Each new development was a challenge for Hanli, testing his courage, his intelligence, and his determination. But despite all the obstacles he encountered along the way, Hanli persevered. He knew he could not retreat now, not when he was so close to unraveling the secrets that could change the fate of the Rainbow Heavenly Mountains and all who dwelled within them. With each step forward, Hanli grew stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. He was no longer just a disciple of the Seven Mysteries sect, he was a warrior, a strategist, a hero destined to shape the course of history. And so, as the sun set over the mountains and darkness spread across the land, Hanli remained steadfast on his journey. For he knew that in the end, it was not just his own life that was at stake, but the fate of an entire kingdom that depended on him to be saved. And he would not fail. Hanli, immersed in his thoughts as he walked through the bustling streets, pondered over the recent events that had unfolded during his journey. The voice of the spy, still echoing in his mind, carried with it an aura of mystery and intrigue. Who could this unknown individual be, seemingly entangled in such dangerous affairs? Yet, Hanli knew that his own safety was of paramount importance. He avoided any suspicious movements that might attract the attention of the feral Wolfgang spies. Despite the imminent danger, the journey back home proceeded without incident after that tense encounter. Upon returning to his abode, Hanli was greeted by the usual visit from Dr. Immo, whose hidden intentions always left Hanli wary. Though the physician handed over remedies concocted from rare ingredients, Hanli couldn't fully trust his intentions. Suspicious, he swallowed the medicines without properly examining them, fearing they might be tainted with poison. Despite his suspicions regarding the physician, Hanli couldn't overlook the situation with the feral Wolfgang spies. His loyalty to the Seven Mysteries sect compelled him to act, but he knew he couldn't handle it alone. Li Feiyu, a senior disciple known for his ambition and desire for recognition, seemed to be the ideal choice to deal with this delicate matter. Hanli recalled the secret sword manuals he had acquired and only shared fragments of with Li Feiyu. The blinking sword art, a mysterious and deadly technique, was something that could prove invaluable in this situation. However, mastering it required more than physical prowess, it demanded deep understanding and unwavering dedication. The manuals meticulously described every aspect of the technique, from environmental conditions to the specific forms of each movement. The complexity of the art discouraged many aspirants, leading to its obscurity within the Seven Mysteries sect. Yet, for Hanli, these manuals represented not only formidable skill but also an opportunity to repay Li Feiyu for his past deeds. As he pondered the power and responsibility these manuals represented, Hanli felt a mixture of emotions. The decision to share this knowledge with Li Feiyu was not simple, but he knew it was the right choice to make. In the world of Jianghu, where loyalties and rivalries intertwined, every move could have unpredictable consequences. With these thoughts echoing in his mind, Hanli made a decision. He would seek out Li Feiyu and present to him the opportunity to excel, not only as a skilled disciple but as a hero of the Seven Mysteries sect. And with that, perhaps Hanli could ensure not only the sect's safety but also his own redemption. At the time when the sect of the Seven Mysteries flourished in all its splendor, a figure stood out among the cultivators, the elder who had conceived a unique sword art of profound and mysterious skill. However, secrets obscured his true condition. During a battle against a rival from Jianghu, his meridians were damaged, preventing him from cultivating true qi. To preserve his position in the sect, he concealed his weakness and adopted a mysterious posture, simulating an overwhelming force that deceived everyone. But, despite the tricks, it became evident that he lacked the ability to defend himself, now depending on cunning and experience for protection. This era of disguise coincided with the peak of the sect of the Seven Mysteries' power. However, when the elder realized that his strength would never be restored, he plunged into despair and launched secret attacks against smaller sects, devising disguised plans to acquire secret martial arts manuals that could be cultivated without true qi. After years of fruitless research, his exceptional intelligence and unique talent led him to a drastic decision. to combine all the techniques discovered into a new high-level skill. Obsessed with the idea, he plunged into deep studies and isolated himself to focus on creation. The task was monumental. Creating an innovative martial skill, which did not require true chi, proved to be a challenge that tested his limits. However, his determination was unwavering, and after a decade of intense dedication, he gave birth to the blinking sword art. The news of his creation filled him with enthusiasm, but was met with dismay. The sect of the Seven Mysteries was in decline, surrounded by rival sects in an imminent siege. Furious and alarmed, the elder unleashed his new skill, opening a bloody path to safety and saving his sect from impending disaster. However, the price was high. On the brink of death, he bequeathed his creation to the Supreme Seventh Hall, with no successor able to master it, except Hanli. Despite the feat, the blinking sword art plunged into obscurity, forgotten by time. Hanli, ignorant of the history behind the technique, was not moved. For him, the usefulness of the art in the confrontation with Dr. Mo was enough. Uninterested in the details, Hanli plunged into the manuals, memorizing every detail using his eidetic memory, aware of the danger that knowledge represented for his plans. In the darkness of his residence, Hanli immersed himself in studies until dawn, absorbing each teaching with relentless devotion. When daylight finally invaded the room, he emerged from his studies, aware that time waits for no one. Despite exhaustion, Hanli knew he needed to dedicate years of practice to fully master the technique. With renewed determination, he prepared for the challenge that lay ahead, aware that only time and his perseverance would reveal the true power of the blinking sword art.